What is the only cryptocurrency that you should invest?
DogeCoin!
It's the people's currency, you know it's the best.
Please buy!
The most fun and ironic crypto, that is for sure.
So crypto!
We're taking DogeCoin to the moon.
to the moon!
And if a broker says,
Listen, you can't get rich with Dogecoin,
say stonks, but even Daddy Elon knows it's the time to join.
Much fun!
Cause
Fate loves irony.
therefore we're passing Bitcoin soon.
Elon Gene Snoop!
Take this little puppy to the moon. Hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it, never sell.
Much rich!
Buy more, buy more, buy more, buy more, it's doing well.
Such high!
Hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it, never sell.
Much value!
Rising, 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 I can tell.
Very trading!
Shut up and take my money. This meme coin is looking funny. Let's write history together. In Doge we trust.
Much trust!
Jump on the hype train, bros. Cause even Snoop Doge knows it's going up. Don't drop it when it's hot. Doge is the only cryptocurrency that you should invest.
DogeCoin!
It's the people's currency, you know it's the best.
Please buy!
The most fun and ironic crypto, that is for sure.
So crypto!
We're taking DogeCoin to the moon. DogeCoin to the moon. DogeCoin to the moon. DogeCoin to the moon. DogeCoin to the moon.
And beyond!
paralyzed. Now I know it's over. I see you passing by, hand in hand, with your perfect light. My body goes numb, feels like someone cut my tongue. I didn't know my heart could die this young. Oh, now when I look in your eyes,
All right, welcome back to another episode of Dream Tech TV and Mercy and Moria Madness and Necromancer Madness. Okay, legit. We're gonna see what's up. What's going on? Today's Sunday. Happy Sunday, everybody. All right, legit. We'll see if anybody say anything. In the meantime, we get about to eat as well, so we're gonna eat in a few minutes as well. Hell yeah. That's crazy. Let's see. Okay, let's see what the Modern Investor got to say. Alright, legit.
Hello everybody. Welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you're all doing fantastic. And that you're having an absolutely incredible day. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter. There's a link in the description below. Without any further ado, let's jump right into it. We've had a very interesting last few couple of weeks. The cryptocurrency market is in the midst of, in the middle of, even if you will, things that are going on around the world, and it's completely shaping the market that we have and that we are going to have. Even when some days we've had any kind of negative news that's been going on, or prices have fallen, what have you, whatever might actually be in the news on any given day, our news actually tends to be still quite good. We get a lot of good news always flowing in our direction. It's just a matter of, I want to say, the rest of the market like actually paying attention to everything that's also taking place. Heavily in the news is still any kind of discussion as to when, as opposed to if, this is going to happen. Apparently, according to a number of, I don't want to say higher ranking officials, but people who we've consistently heard from about the cryptocurrency market. Apparently, we're moving in the right direction per se when it comes to high levels of adoption. I think I can say before we begin, everything is kind of very weird. I know and I see a large amount of frustration online. I mean, everywhere. Anything that has to do with crypto, it's either one day everyone's very euphoric or one day everyone's completely down in the dumps. Things are very weird. There's no real way for me to actually sugarcoat that. Even when I'm looking around, I do see on certain days a lot of the major analysts are now actually even allowing themselves to say that a lot of times there are huge amounts of market manipulation going on. And I say that from the standpoint of not trying to be negative. It's just more of a understand. And this is what I need people to really get. I've said this many times over the last couple of years, but I know that only constantly a handful of people actually understand what I mean. The attention span for people who are actually in crypto tends to be quite long. For those who are here to make a quick buck, it's also a very quick attention span as far as there's no real retention of anything that's going on. The people who will make the most money in this market are the people, not only who've been here for the longest, but also the people who understand what's going on, why it's happening, the levels of accumulation, the times where prices don't go up as we want them to, or it's all these things kind of really mixed together. It's those who are here for the actual long term, who are looking to actually make generational wealth. And this is where I think a lot of the anger and annoyance comes from certain, whatever. I'm rambling, but the point is, things are working out in our favor, even when it doesn't seem like that they are. We've progressed so much, and I think even more so from people who've been here for a while. Me and you, have gone over price predictions and analyst predictions for a number of years now. And despite all the good news that we consistently get, a large portion of it doesn't ever really feel like that it's reflected in prices. I don't know if you saw, I mean, you must have seen a couple of days ago where prices like first dipped down heavily. I think Ethereum fell by 30%. I think that was, 7, 8, however many days ago that it actually was. And there were a lot of people. Anyway, sorry if I'm rambling. Like, there's just always so much going on, and prices should be a lot higher. There was some accounts who were remarking. It said if you purchased $10,000 worth of Ether 5 years ago, you would still have $10,000. It doesn't make any sense. The news that we've seen about the accumulation levels of Ethereum, the amount of locking up of Ethereum, everything that we've seen for Bitcoin. We were just going over that a couple of days ago as well. I was like, Bitcoin should obviously be over $200,000, $300,000. It doesn't make any sense. But in a world where me and you get news and information that Bitcoin is going to $1 million, a lot of this feels like a final stretch of the race kind of thing, where if they can fool people, push people, squeeze people, knock people out of the market, rich people, they're going to, because they want it all for themselves. Is just the way that rich people work. They're insanely greedy. When you get the idea, remember I was saying before, if you missed in another video, I was saying it's so weird to see Bitcoin at 100,000 when Bitcoin was at like nearly, it was like 101,000 that day. And I was saying it was very weird because the thought of owning a tenth of a Bitcoin years ago also was like, the word's not nothing. If Bitcoin's at $3,000 and is, $300 for a tenth of it, it seems relatively within reach. When you look at Bitcoin at 100K, you need 10,000 to have a tenth of a Bitcoin. And I was like, how many normal people have $10,000 sitting around to be able to buy anything? I mean, to even like repair a car, a house, a home, like you name it. 10,000 is a huge amount of money to simply just have lying around. And I was like, by the time we do get to $500,000 Bitcoin, you then need $50,000. When we get to $1 million, the average person doesn't have 1,000. We've gone over that before in other videos as well. People don't have 3,000 in the case of an emergency. You think they have 10,000? You think they have 100,000 to buy a tenth of a Bitcoin? So we're seeing whatever's going on. It's manipulation, it's hoarding, it's market makers, it's movements and all these other things trying to get as much as they can before like the squeeze kind of squeezes the market. I don't really know. I'm sorry for all the rambling. It's just more of a, we're in such a peculiar time within the market and everything that's going on. I know everyone else is feeling it as well. You must all be privy to it and understanding exactly what's happening, despite the constant inflow of good news that we're actually having. The Satoshi Act Fund founder and CEO, his name is Dennis Porter, is certain that Utah will be the first state to pass a strategic Bitcoin reserve legislation in the United States. If you missed the last couple of videos, Dennis Porter is basically the guy on Twitter. And I don't know how close him and Cynthia Lummis are, but they kind of are the two people who are always talking about Bitcoin reserves. Like, it's their main thing that they talk about all the time on Twitter, especially Dennis Porter. And recently, Dennis Porter had like a couple of maps and graphs that were going on where he was telling us, remember, he was like, there are 3 states, there are 11 states, there's 15 states, there's X many states who are pushing through the legislation. Apparently, there's like a multi-level thing. It was kind of touted or given to the public as bill goes through, it gets signed, it's law. But I think 3 or 4 states at the time of me making this video have actually, it's gone through the first one. It has to go through another checkpoint, I believe, then one more, and then it ends up getting signed. But now he's saying that Utah is going to be the first to go like the full Monty, the full way to actually have this happening. In an interview with Simply Bitcoin, Republican Senator Cynthia Lummis, Porter explained that there are already a total of 11 states that have introduced strategic Bitcoin reserve legislations. He predicts the number could even reach 15 states within this year. No, that doesn't make any sense. If we're already at 11 states right now, 15 is basically going to be around the corner. From the numbers that we heard and saw in other videos, the last large number that we got was quoted at 22. And I remember it was 22 because I was like, it's 3 away from 25. And I was like, that's half of all the states. I was like, if we start hearing more and more of this news, by the end of the year, we would probably hear around 30 different states. To think that only 15 within the year is kind of a little weird. He said, we think we'll get to 15 within 2025 alone. It could be many more than that, and some states will have multiple bills because lawmakers are now competing to be the first one in their own state. When asked which state he believes will be the first to pass a Bitcoin reserve, Porter placed his confidence in Utah. Despite the state being the last one to introduce the law out of the list of 11 states, Porter said Utah had the shortest period for finalizing decisions on government legislations, which is 45 days. I was wondering what that was before. I was like, is it normally like 6 months? How long do we have to wait? 3 months for a lot of this news to actually go through and all of these laws. But yeah, I'm still expecting major big things. This is going to be an echo of past times. This has happened before in crypto. This isn't something new. We know that we should be a lot higher. It's just a matter of the market actually finally reflecting it as well. It is, I will tell you, without a shadow of a doubt, it is very weird to have been in this market for so long and have seen such huge amounts of progress, of accumulation. And I mean, really, even if it was just the 1.34 million by the ETFs and the 500,000 by MicroStrategy, we should be over $300,000-$400,000 per Bitcoin. A lot of people try to promote patience within this space, but it gets difficult. If we can be honest with ourselves, it gets very difficult. It's kind of like, I can't even give you an analogy. It's kind of like constantly hearing that like amazing things are happening outside. Like it's great, it's sunny, everyone's at the beach, and then you look outside, and when you look, it's like gray, cloudy, and raining, and there's no one there. It's a weird feeling to every single day hear how great that things actually are within this space, to kind of be met back with like, I don't know. It's all very odd. That's the continuation of the Bitcoin reserves within the United States news. Okie dokie, let's move on. Also in major news as well, during the first portion of the actual major dip, apparently everyone's for some reason paying attention to a new Ether wallet called 7 Siblings. I'm not even joking. It literally is called number 7 Siblings. When the crash happened, as happens every single crash, they acquired $1.1 billion worth of Ether. The purchase happened at an Ether price of $2,480. I'm not sure if you've been seeing, but a major part of crypto news the last 2 weeks has been the accumulation levels of Ether by I don't know what the name of this wallet is, but the wallet that's associated with Donald Trump. I keep seeing people online talking about that Trump is buying this stuff. I know it's usually like a financial advisor or someone else who has control over. I don't think Trump himself is literally doing it. It just doesn't make a lot of sense. However, there are rumors afoot. If you haven't been on Twitter or haven't been online in the last 2 weeks, people are saying that the amount of Ether that the Trump associated wallet is buying is like quite numerous. It's like heavy amounts of Ether all the time. And now we're also getting, I mean, in the last couple of weeks as well, there's a lot of like Ether whale news, but it typically gets overshadowed by anything that has to do with an outflow to an ETF, prices moving down, or anything else happening within the financial world. But behind the scenes, if you will, spot, not ETF, like actually on the markets, whales are accumulating large amounts of Ether. A lot of the analysts online, Dr. Profit and all these other people, I mean, you wouldn't believe it. Everyone's like $8,000 Ether incoming, $10,000, $11,000, $12,000 Ether. Apparently the lines and the charts are bullish. It's just a matter of this properly reflecting within our market. I really, truly wonder how long we can actually sustain these prices. And I mean, not from like a, oh no, are we gonna fall, but more like a, prices can't remain this current low forever. It's actually not possible. If everything is being accumulated, we know like supply and demand. So it's just very odd to continuously hear all this news. If you've also been missing a lot of it as well, the recent news from the Ethereum Foundation and them potentially locking up $1 billion+ worth of Ether into staking, and all the other Ether accumulation news that we've been getting as well. But this one made headlines, and I'm not sure if it's because of how weird the name actually is, but the wallet address is called 7 Siblings. Right. That's the Ether news. Moving along. This news would have taken the world by storm just a number of years ago. This had relative popularity, but nothing too insane like we used to see a number of years ago. Cardano developer IOHK has unveiled their 2025 roadmap, outlining ambitious plans to integrate with Bitcoin as a smart contract layer, enhancing liquidity and functionality for both ecosystems. Let's be completely honest here. A lot of other coins are beginning to overshadow, outpace Cardano. Cardano works. Cardano is fantastic as far as we can tell. The staking mechanism, all there. I'm actually giving a thumbs up. You can't actually see. Cardano works out just fine. But a lot of the Cardano hype has disappeared over the last 2 years. Like I said, if we had, I mean, really 2-3 years ago, Cardano roadmap news, I mean, the price would have risen that day on the actual news. What we have now, however, we have Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Solana, I dare say 4 or 5 different meme coins. I would even throw in Litecoin into that whole bucket as well, as far as things that are garnering a lot more attention than Cardano has been able to do in a while. We recently heard about a month ago about future integrations for Cardano with Bitcoin. And I said then, and I'll say it again, it appears that Cardano developers kind of maybe understand that one of the ways to extend longevity within the project is by actually integrating with Bitcoin. We've been receiving a lot of information in the last 2 months that Bitcoin at some point is going to have on-chain staking. Meaning, on-chain, you will be able to lock up your Bitcoin and receive some kind of a coin as compensation. We don't know what, but is going to act as a form of passive income. We've seen a lot of information that apparently a lot of Ethereum developers are trying to develop layer 2 solutions for Ethereum and also layer 2 solutions on the side for Bitcoin to add extra integration for you to be able to take your Bitcoin, your Satoshis, and lock it up within Ethereum on DeFi protocols to be able to make passive income. And this is what Cardano is now trying to do as well. It's been a really weird cycle for Cardano. A lot of the news we've been getting has nearly explicitly been Cardano's trying to integrate with Bitcoin and Cardano's trying to integrate with XRP. If you missed that as well, I believe the news is that they want a portion of the XRP stablecoin to be, I'm stretching, sorry. Oh gosh, my neck. They want a portion of the XRP stablecoin to be minted on Cardano, which is genius if it actually ends up working out. And also some kind of a bridge between Cardano and XRP as well. The main one that we're hearing is from Bitcoin, but the more bridges you have, the more interoperability, the more liquidity you have, the more of a chance that your coin is actually going to succeed. The roadmap also includes exploring merged mining and enabling Bitcoin users to access DeFi applications on Cardano. They talk about looking further to 2030. I would really just focus on now, but this is what Cardano does. They throw the rock really far to let you know that they're going to be here. Cardano is aiming to support billions of users by reducing entry barriers while maintaining decentralization, affordability, and security. I would assume so. They're not going to introduce any kind of news saying they're going to become less decentralized. They're going to make the chain more expensive and have less security. That just would not make any kind of sense. Yeah, so let's see what ends up happening. Cardano has historically been a chain that kind of talk the talk and then talk the talk again and then kept on talking the talk and then walked and then talk the talk and then talk the talk and then walked. So it takes a while usually for a lot of these things to happen. If they manage to create a new layer, a new protocol, a new something where they can make sure that they actually interact with Bitcoin and like they're combined together and it's bridged properly this year, Cardano's probably going to have a very successful future. But a lot of it does rely on this actually going through and working. One of the things, like I said before, a lot of other coins are getting a lot more attention. When you have discussions, I was chatting with some friends on coins in the market and not so much what to buy, but like what the big names are right now. We talked for a good hour and then somebody was like, what happened to Cardano? And I said, what happened to Cardano was tax-free crypto within the United States. I was asking on Twitter, apparently Cardano was made in Singapore. I think that's what the news was that someone gave me. And I air quote here lightly. And the issue with that is that it's not Aave. It's not HBAR. It's not XRP or any other coin made within the United States. So a lot of attention has shifted for taxation reasons, for hype reasons, and all these other things. So yeah, it's good to see that Cardano is still in the news. Nothing negative about them in a while. It's been great to see that Charles Hoskinson has stopped fighting with people online. That was a big thing the last 2 years. Every time, I mean, really, if he was eating like a grape and somebody was like, are you having a raisin? He would make a video talking about how much he hates raisins. And it was like, what are you doing? Like, build and create, like go on an island somewhere with beautiful people, like stop. He was just arguing with the people all the time. Even weirder is that like after arguing with the people from Ripple and XRP and calling the project garbage, now he also wants to integrate with that as well. And it's like, that's the Cardano news. Let's see what ends up happening. Everything is there. Everything works. Let's see if people begin to pay a little bit more attention. We have not yet heard news from anywhere about a Cardano ETF, but I assume that's also probably in the pipeline. I would realistically, I would wait until we have the Litecoin one, the Solana-esque one, and the XRP ETFs out. I think if those are released and then do well, we'll probably hear some companies beginning to file for Cardano ETFs as well. That's the Cardano news. And yeah, let's move on. Also in very popular news as well, Kraken has resumed crypto staking services for clients in 39 different states, marking a significant move in response to changing regulatory dynamics within the United States. If you missed it, apparently the new SEC is a lot more crypto friendly. This is when we're talking about the ETFs as well. It appears that things may be easier. I was going to say grease the wheel, but I guess it also kind of makes sense. Things might be a lot easier to do within the United States. One of the largest anti-things from Gary Gensler's old SEC was the idea of items or any type of thing, really, anything, having staking included in it. And the majorest part of that was actually Ethereum staking. So a lot of the ETFs within the United States, or rather all of them, were not allowed to have any kind of staking thing inside of it. Basically meaning that the ETFs would also be providing a form of passive income. Now, we heard recently, a couple days ago, from Joseph Lubin, one of the co-creators of Ethereum. He thinks that the ETFs are, he said soon. He thinks that the ETFs are going to be allowed to offer staking to their clients as well, or people who are holding shares. And this is why we're seeing like staking becoming a thing all over again, or beginning to, within the United States. There was no reason to stop this. Even with the idea that this is probably a secure.
That's funny. They're gonna get people to stake, and they're gonna get stuck at the top. Thinking, oh no, they're gonna be okay. Your staking's fine. They're gonna get stuck. It's happening all over again. It's happening all over again. Literally, that's what happened last time as well. And what, during the bear market, they stopped staking. They reduced the percentage of staking that you get, like the percentage you get per staking. So people don't want it, and they sell, and they get out at the bottom, and they get at the top because they think they're going to get more, but that's it. That's the trap. That's the trap. So they get stuck at the top, holding the bag. Ha, yo, let's go. I'm ready. We're going to move up. Good thing we see these things come into play. So we understand what's trapping people, and we know we're not getting trapped. Hell yeah. Let's see what, I hope y'all doing good, Chad. All right, legit.
Security, buying something with the expectation of profit, i.e. buying Cardano, buying Ethereum, staking it with the expectation of getting passive income. That can all be properly regulated. This isn't any different. This is not any different than a dividend, especially if you give proper regulations and you have the crypto exchanges let people know that they actually have a proof of reserves and can prove that they're staking it, and then actually giving people their money every single week, day, or month. There's no real problem here. So Kraken has started again for 39 different states. I don't think they have a list. There are 11 of them omitted. I would assume New York is probably, it's usually New York and New York, Hawaii, and Alaska tend to at least be three of the states that usually are like omitted at the very beginning of something. But this also, I didn't realize it, is also tying into the idea of, as we went over in the beginning, the idea of Ethereum and Ethereum staking and Ethereum doing better and Ethereum's price going, like, it's everything for some reason is kind of revolving around this idea that for whatever reason, people think that Ethereum is going to be the shining star of this year. And I need to say, for those of you who do not like Ethereum, put your hand down, because if Ethereum does well, all of your altcoins do well. That's been a hard lesson that a lot of people have had to learn over the years within the crypto market. A lot of people are like, I don't like Ethereum, it's too slow. And it's like, well, you better love it, because if Ethereum does bad, altcoins do terrible. If Ethereum is pumping by 15-20% a week until we get to October, guess what's going to happen to your altcoins? They're going to go up by 30, 40, 50% at the same exact time. So you better pray that Ethereum continues to do well. You have to understand, we're all one market. It's all interconnected. You might think that your crappy coin is the best thing in the entire world. The market is dictated by Bitcoin, and to a very large extent by Ethereum as well. When you get that through your head, you'll really begin to understand the market. The exchange has implemented third-party slashing.
He said, "Get that through your head," but then he only thinks of supply and demand. He can't understand this liquidity is made through computers. He can't understand that. The irony. He can't get that through his head. That's crazy.
And insurance to enhance user protection amidst ongoing legal challenges. As Kraken pivots away from NFTs, CEO Jesse Powell cites market conditions as driving forces behind the decision, reflecting a broader trend in the crypto space. Yeah, there's a huge wave of staking this year. I understand why. I was going to say I don't really get it, but I understand. If big money is waiting to get in crypto, if big money is already in crypto, and bigger money wants to put trillions of dollars into the market, was it Changpeng Zhao? I want to say Changpeng Zhao. Someone recently, 2 days ago, was saying that they know for a fact that there's like trillions of dollars waiting on the sidelines, but they need proper regulations to legally know that they're able to do it. And then for taxation reasons and all these other things, like, so this is kind of, once again, setting up the market to do extremely well, because the way that money works, or the way that things work in this world now and probably will always work, is people, and I say this in the most honest way possible, people don't want to do anything. Nobody wants to work. And that, once again, if you're that one person who loves your job, you are 1 in a trillion. But everyone else kind of wants to hang out and do whatever you want to do in your life. And crypto not only like allows that as prices rise, but if you have this integration to staking and stuff like that, a lot of my friends, the stuff that they buy is literally revolving around passive income. They're heavily focused into real estate, into dividend stocks, and even the crypto that they buy, they're like, okay, does this have a long-term future? Does it have staking? Because they want a stream constantly of passive income coming their way. But yeah, no list on exactly which 39 states, but very good to hear. Many other countries did not have this problem. It was namely the states because of Gary Gensler. Like, really. Like, I can't imagine how much crypto will be able to flourish over the coming years because he's gone. Really, like, honestly, I'm being 1000% honest. I think that's going to do it for this video. I do hope that you've all enjoyed. I do hope you all are having a great day, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are.
All right, let's see if anybody else is saying anything, because he's done. Okay, Crypto Vanter's online. Let's see what he got to say.
Your business. I think any business where it's found to leave after 3 years. Yeah. So
Okay.
yes, it will be.
Okay, so this is a premiere. He recorded this and has put it out. Let's see what he's saying.
Stressed about it because it's a baby. Vance is a baby.
What is one thing you wish Fefe knew about himself that you see?
Okay, so he just talking about himself and just basically he's boosting his ego, basically. An interview, just another ego boosting interview. I don't care about that. And basically ego boosting interview and shilling at the same time. And nobody got time for that. Hell no, get that out of here. Get that stuff out of here. Okay, let's see what's got to say. Is it crypto hodlers? This is the calm before the storm. It was put like 3 minutes ago. Okay, 3 minutes ago. Let's see what they're saying. All right, legit.
The last couple of days have been extremely boring for crypto, and I think it's quite interesting that we've literally now gone 3 days without anything happening. I mean, in the background, for example, in the meme space, there's quite a lot of stuff that's been going on, quite a lot of memes that have been launched. Kanye West was talking about some coins and things on Ethereum. There was this Barstool Sports guy, Dave Portnoy, who's been launched, least getting involved in very small market cap memes, and it's been quite interesting to watch. But if we put that all aside and we're talking more about the fundamentally strong crypto coins,
The fundamentally strong crypto coin like DogeCoin and the bull rip. Hey, yo, cheers, everybody. Yo, cheers. Cheers, beautiful. Definitely cheers, my love. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hope y'all doing good, chat. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Oh, we just gotta let it play out. We gotta let it play out, chat. That's all we can do. Gotta let it play out. Hell yeah. Oh, hope y'all doing good. Legit, legit. Oh, actually, I'm gonna take one more bull rip. Hey, yo, cheers, everybody. Yo, cheers. Cheers, beautiful. Lavender cheers, my love. Hell yeah. Okay, that was the finish of that. I knew there was a little bit left in that bowl rip. Okay, now we're good. All right, hope y'all doing good. We're gonna eat. Let's see what's up. I hope y'all doing good. All right, legit.
Really, not that much has been going on recently. Just take a look at the top coin list right now. There are a few top gainers, with Pyth up 12%, Celestia up 12%, Floki up 10, Tezos up 10. So, I mean, there are a couple of coins in the double-digit gains, and on the other side, the coins are really not doing that bad. There's only Onyx Coin Maker and MNT basically that are down more than Melania that are down more than 1%. So generally speaking, a very neutral day in the market, and that becomes quite a lot more apparent as well when you start either looking at the trades or you start looking at the Bitcoin chart, for example. Because if we zoom in, for example, here to the daily time frame, you can see that as it currently stands, we've just basically had 3 days in a row, 1, 2, 3, and now the fourth day will present itself of just nothing happening. There's literally been no up, no down, and yes, there's been some volatility. For example, a few days ago, as we saw within that day, we hit as low as let's see real quick, as low as 95.7 thousand and as high as 100,160. And I remember I was outside looking at XRP, and you know what's funny? This is when the non-farm payrolls, etc. came out. I made a video saying this is happening in 1 hour, and this is basically happening throughout the day. It'll be big, so watch out for it. And then idiots go to that comment section to say nothing happened. When in reality, we just had ourselves the numbers 1 hour after I made the video, which is why I made the video regardless. And the price actually had the biggest spike we've had in a while. Move-wise, this is Bitcoin, but for XRP it was a pretty big deal actually. And it always just surprises me or confuses me how people then dare to go into the comment section and say nothing happened. When again, just looking at it right here, for example, this price here going up like 12% in a few hours and then right back down is a pretty interesting event. I think people just sometimes get spoiled from being in a bull market for too long. They think everything has to happen within a snap or something like that. Then again, as it currently stands, XRP has broken out from this shorter term trend. Like right now as it stands, we are moving upwards rather than downwards, so that's nice to see. As you can see on the shorter term, we are looking like proper again, let's just call it like that. I mean, it's not as if this necessarily will hold. I guess we'll see throughout the next few hours, but it's just nice to see that the tides are shifting ever so slightly based on no news at all though. I mean, I saw a lot of people talk about these divergences because, well, if the price moves sideways, sometimes the RSI can tell you something, but in this case here, all I wanted to quickly cover as well was that Stellar started a little beef with the XRP community. Build on Stellar, a Stellar associated account, right? Because I love XLM, but they basically said, imagine spending more on lawyers than developers and calling it progress. So that was actually a really interesting jab. I don't know why they do that. John Dean was also not happy, and he basically quoted the post saying, imagine a founder publicly taking shots at the company he co-founded after the company was targeted by the SEC, likely with his help, for spending 150 mil in legal fees because the SEC said it was illegal for that company to have sold $1.3 billion in XRP sales. Now imagine that same co-founder sitting back and making $2 billion from XRP sales after the lawsuit against his former company was filed, and while his former partners were spending that 150 mil to save the company he co-founded. Get the picture. Well, it's kind of strange indeed. Now also, there's a little video here that I found quite interesting. So it's basically somebody saying, bro, Trump is going to make us, CryptoMoon is going to make, man, my ears. There you go. It's going to make CryptoMoon, is going to make all of us rich again. When then the reality came and set in, and it was, you know what? Nothing really did that well after Trump came in. Here's a counter though. And this is a thing that a lot of people are misunderstanding. First of all, everything in its right time and right place. Many people right now are down, I think, at least 50% or so on their portfolio of the recent weeks. But again, I still believe from a longer term perspective, from a whole cycle perspective, we're still not really in the greatest of times. And I still believe that every single time you start thinking, is this the end? This is the end? That shows that most likely we're not there just quite yet. Because usually when the real top is in, it kind of feels like we're going so much further in a bullish sense rather than a bearish sense. But also, again, this would be the earliest we'd ever end the bull market with the best of conditions. Again, it would be odd. Now, if you had to believe Twitter, the optimism is at one of the lowest points I've seen in a long time, but partially also, like I just said, because many of the coins have already fallen tremendously. But again, at times like this is where, again, it becomes clear. You should mostly just focus on coins you really are happy with holding for multiple months or multiple years in that sense, right? So for example, a few months back, many altcoins started to do well, just like back in...
Let's see, Tom Fed says, hey brother, do you think Dogecoin go back to all-time high this year? Oh yeah, for sure. This year, Dogecoin's gonna be between $20 to $40. For sure, just so you know. Dogecoin's be between $20 to $40 this year. Just gotta have the patience. That's it, nothing more. But as I keep saying, patience pays. Patience pays, alright? So when it does happen, and you be like, damn, Dream Tanks was right, then you know what's up. Alright? So we'll see what happens at just this year. You just gotta have patience, nothing more. It's literally the start of the year. It just started the year, brother. So ain't no worries. Patience pays. Hope you're doing good. Hell yeah. $20 to $40 is the target for this bull market for Dogecoin. Hell yeah. Hope y'all doing good. Legit.
February, March or so of 2024, we had this AI boom, and you saw that all those AI coins afterwards fell another 80%. And it was a thing of, well, when the momentum is there, you can definitely invest for the momentum to try keep it, etc. But then when the momentum is gone, it's sometimes not smart to catch falling knives. And here again, it becomes a matter of, if you are buying the dip for memes or some AI things, etc., I do believe over a prolonged period of time you will...
Let's see. Tom Fan says, hopefully, brother. Well, I don't have to hope. I know it's going to happen because it's been happening since inception. It's happened since inception for Bitcoin. It's happened since inception for Dogecoin. Every 4 years. So there's no hope here. I just know it's going to happen. So it's all about patience. It's all about patience, nothing more. So it's all good. I hope you're doing good, though. Hell yeah.
Work out, but in the meantime, it might be very hard to deal with that. And so now it becomes a matter of, well,
just like for every single bull run and every single bear run, it's gonna move with or without you, with or without me, and with or without the world. All right, there you go. Just so you know. All right, so there's no need to hope when something can move without the world, because it's gonna move on its own without the world. So there's no hope. It's just patience. Then it just becomes patience. So that's what we have. We have patience because we see the future. Hope you're doing good. Hell yeah.
well, if you had been buying just proper altcoins, you're fine with holding for a long time. You're fine with DCAing, and I think of coins like XRP, HBAR, even a Bitcoin I put in that list. XLM I'd usually put in there, but right now they're not being too amazing. But usually I put it in there. And just coins of that sort. The whole process just becomes slightly easier because, first of all, they don't move down by the craziest of numbers as smaller coins can or meme coins can, because they have some sort of fundamentals. And AI coins, but in that same sense, meme coins, they don't have the same fundamentals to make it have a proper bottom. You know, and I always say, whenever a coin goes down 99%, it doesn't mean it can't go down another 99%. You got to always keep this in the back of your head. Will AI coins do amazing? Most likely, yes. But all in the right place, right time, right? Now, there was another funny post I saw earlier. Prince of Prosperity said, you wake up, it's January 17th. You check Solana, it's at $220. Nice. Check Fartcoin, it's at $1.5 billion. Wow, crazy. You notice something called Trump that has a 9 figures in liquidity, and I haven't seen that on Solana before. Interesting. Pour some coffee, life is good. The golden bull run is just beginning, and this is kind of funny because that kind of marked the end of the golden times for most coins. But I still believe in these two I have in front of me here. First of all, Ripple CEO Brett Garlinghouse is expected to be appointed as an advisor to the White House Crypto Council, according to New York Post, and $100 billion asset manager Van Eck predicts Solana will reach $520 by the end of the year. Their prediction not necessarily perfectly accurate, but think of these two posts right there. Think of them a little bit properly in the sense of, if you can't get that the most bullish of times is still most likely upon us, and you're still stuck in this mindset really of, oh, times were better before, no, it will never get back to this, I'm not sure you're gonna make it as far. I just keep thinking, yeah, times were better just then. And I did actually make a video saying, guys, we should sell everything because somebody just told me Trump coin will overtake Bitcoin. But I still think if we just zoom out far enough, we will get very, very far above where we're at today because of the things that are happening. And I keep seeing people state, there's no good reason to buy anymore. There's nothing exciting happening in the near future. And I keep looking back at all the announcements being made. The freaking US making a council, the SEC changing this, that. I don't get it. Yes, right now we're facing some slow times. Yes, it might be slightly down for a very, very short term. We've got ourselves the inflation, interest rate numbers coming out, or inflation coming out very shortly. I got to check in a second which one it is. But just if you're watching the crypto markets today, you're thinking, damn, things are bad, or damn, just take a step back, realize nothing's happened in the last few days. There's no reason to start talking here for hours because nothing has happened. In the grand scheme of things, nothing worth updating you for. But again, it all takes a bit of time. This is a little breather, right? If you've been just staying behind your computer, clicking those buttons, you can now hopefully take a little bit of a step back, or at least maybe you have the last few days, because maybe tomorrow we're right back into the times where things just move 70% in a day, etc. Today's a quiet day. Last few days we've ended on a sideways move, but it won't stay like this for long. So be prepared for that mentally. Hopefully this is just some time to clear yourself up if you also want to trade crypto. There's some links for that down below. As you can see, you can check out Blowfin or WeX, just depends on your preference. Both are fine exchanges. Blowfin can be used in almost any country, and I believe WeX can be used in any country in the world. So check it out, links for that are down below, and I'll see you guys again in another crypto video somewhere probably later today if something crazy happens, but we shall see.
All right, let's see if anybody else saying anything. We're still here. We're eating right now. All right, legit. Let's see, Lord Scratcher said, did you watch the Modern Investor video today? Yeah, we just finished watching like 2 videos ago. Literally. I think that was the first video we popped up after I sat down and started eating. That was the first video. Let me see. Oh, let me go back here. Go to history. Yeah, see, we watched it. That was literally, we watched well, I was watching this while I was washing dishes. Then we watched the Modern Investor right here. Then I put it on I just checking the stream. Then we watched this guy, and then we just watched this guy. So yeah, we already watched the Modern Investor. So yeah, it's all good. Hope you're doing good, Lord Scratcher over there in YouTube land. Hell yeah. If he puts something out on his other channel, we'll watch it too. We usually keep up with it. I'm just trying to find somebody who's saying, okay, let's see what he says. It says, what these 4 crypto charts show a massive market shift coming. He's probably showing the charts of him shilling his coins. Of course, Ethereum, Bitcoin, Solana, and XRP. Of course. All right, let's see what he's saying.
We're back this Saturday to cover the big 4: Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, and Solana, literally in backwards order here, but there is plenty to discuss, especially on the higher term timeframes. I want to continue with the very long-term analysis that we've been having for these for nearly a year now, which is actually kind of crazy. But for the first time during this whole time, things are starting to potentially change around here, although I suspect that the big move still is a little bit further away in terms of time. What I mean by that is, perhaps late, like very late within this month, maybe even early March, as things are starting to turn out right now. But before we get into that, I actually did just get a message here from the people at Bybit, who I'm partnered with, and they actually do have something pretty cool going on right now with the bot.
This motherfucker said, I just got a message from the people I partner with. Shut the fuck up. You're shilling. You're fucking shilling. Shut the hell up, dude. I just got a message. Shut up. Alright, let's see what else he got to say. The damn shilling is unreal.
For one day, and let's get into some actual analysis right here. So let me just pop my notes back on up, and let's get into Solana first. So Solana coming off of a pretty nasty drawdown from last, what was this last? Yes, this was this past Monday, playing off the bottom side of its overall major weekly and even monthly range at this point, between about 180 to the downside versus 260, 265 to the upside. And as it stands right now, there are a few things that are very interesting about Solana in the short term. Not the long term, but the short term here. Long term, like I said, I think that this is going to take a while to play out. But in the short term, on the daily time frame, we do see that BBWP representing volatility has hit an extreme here and is seeming to go back into a contraction phase. So assuming that this does play out, which, double extremes right here, boom, on the highs and then on the lows, very likely to get a bounce into this region. I'm not saying like I'm massively bullish on this asset or anything like that, but I do think that this one, with that double volatility extreme read and coming off of the bottom side of the range right here, is very likely in for a bounce in the not so distant future. I mean, this could very easily be this coming week. For right now, I would be looking at the daily stochastic oscillator momentum pivot to gauge when that bounce is likely to happen. As long as Solana is obviously below the pivot, which right now is about $200, I wouldn't be looking for the bounce until that essentially fulfills that pivot. So let's call it $200, or if it can trade, especially above Thursday's high, that'd probably be good enough for me to indicate that this thing is actually ready for a decent bounce. At that point, we can draw our fibs right here. In fact, I will do a reverse one for this one because it would be technically a bearish one. And let's plop it up right there. And that would give us a couple of areas of interest. The first one would be about 214. I do think that things would likely trade above there. I think that the 50% level at 227 to 228 very likely to get hit. Perhaps even if things get quite crazy, and maybe even if the long term, or I would actually expect that if the long term is bullish, we would be expecting a bounce to get up to actually all the way to the 618 at 240 before playing out a bit of a pullback. So, ideally for the Bulas,
Let's see, Tiny said, scream if anything, bro. Our legit brother. Hope you're doing good. Hell yeah.
Cool.
Over there in Twitch land. Legit.
My tools.
I hope you're doing good. Legit.
Ideally for the Bulas to keep the hopes alive in the long term.
Oh, and enjoy your sleep. Hell yeah. Get some rest. Hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah.
I'd really want to see a bounce somewhere in this next week, maybe 2 weeks, somewhere around this region right here. Again, waiting for this.
Tiny says, thanks for the promotion. Don't thank me. Thank Restream. They got their servers fixed. You gotta thank Restream. That's dumb. They're the ones that's destroying our connection. Well, yeah, so definitely Restream. Or OBS. One of the two. When somebody is connecting to the server, you gotta thank them because they finally got their shit together. So, but sweet dreams. Have a good one, brother. Legit.
Point to fulfill the momentum pivot before that bounce is really playable. And until then, does Solana hang out at the lows? Probably yes. But whenever I see a double BBWP extreme read like this, you're very likely due for a counter move. And so in this case, that counter to the current daily trend would obviously be a bounce here. Anyways, yes, we've gone through that. Long term, to keep the Bulas' hopes alive, monthly must absolutely close above at minimum that red 5 exponential moving average, which is basically at about $200. Here's the thing though, and this is what I was kind of alluding to at the beginning of this video. We are getting the first indication in nearly a year now since we've been doing these long-term analysis that major reversal is possible. And well, while as of right now it's not confirmed, but it is possible if Solana can close a monthly, especially below January's low, which was 169, or even if it closed below like 180, I would be quite concerned. We are going to see momentum very likely turn down this month, especially as long as it's below 227, although that was right around the bounce target, to be fair, on the daily. So perhaps that lines up with the daily bounce into the end of the month. Again, I'm speculating massively right here, so understand that this is an if and then statement. But if you do see it reclaim that region again before end of month and especially close above there, okay, hopes for the upside are still alive. But below, especially $200, I think that is very concerning for Solana. And shit, if he even just trades below about January's low, I mean, this thing's going to be heading back down to 140, 120-ish region. And I would essentially say that this thing is entering into a new cycle, meaning that, you know, the bull cycle is done. If that were to happen again, big if and then statement. I know that some people are going to be very pissed off about that whenever you talk about bearish alts in the comments, but it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Look, we said it yesterday. Alts go to hell. Bitcoin sometimes goes to heaven, but Solana is indeed an altcoin at the end of the day. Anyways, let's move on now to XRP. XRP actually very similar to Solana, but I would say relative to Solana, it's in a slightly stronger position here. You know, you can see that it's not necessarily on the exact lows, although it did certainly test those lows of this range that has been consistent since essentially the beginning of December. But you know, right here on the daily time frame, very similar setup to Solana, but like I said, a little bit stronger. We do see double extremes on daily BBWP. I want to see this current one go into a bit of a contraction phase here, but I think it's very close to it, if not, you know, probably going to happen in the next 2-3 days, if I had to guess. That is going to be coupled with daily momentum, also suggesting a bit of a bounce off of this range low at as long as it does stay above about 242, which right now it's actually about a cent below. So perhaps that doesn't get met today, but sometime this week perhaps. But as long as XRP is below that momentum pivot, technically speaking, downside is more likely. And, you know, does it come back down to like 220? Does it come all the way down to like, you know, 210 or $2 even? I don't know. But, you know, that wouldn't surprise. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me to see it all the way back down to like $2. Again, as long as it is below that pivot. So very, very important for it to reclaim it sooner rather than later in order to play out that double volatility extreme bounce. That I absolutely love whenever I see. Anyways, weekly range is essentially the same, and I do want to state that on the weekly range, especially after looking at this one with fresh eyes this past week. This thing is very likely going to be range bound at minimum between about, you know, $2 to the downside again versus $3 to the upside. I think for a long time until we see this go for a decent reset on weekly volatility. I mean, this at minimum I'd want to see come back down below the 50 percentile level. Personally, it would be better if it comes down even lower than that, between about 15 to 20 percentile. But you know, this can take a long time for this move to shake out. And again, for reference here, or just for you know, well, for reference, I guess, this thing went on a nearly 600% run unabated over the course of a couple months. Yeah, I think that this one's going to spend a couple months, if not more, going sideways within that range, and that would be best case scenario really for Bulos. But here's the thing, you know, higher term timeframes still remain. I mean, it's fine. I just really don't want to see it below this month's low. But I don't think that's. I think that even if it comes back down around $2, I don't think that it takes out this month's low. So, of course, I can always be wrong in these things, but you know, long term, I mean, long term, it's always very difficult to trust XRP because it is just it used to be, except for like the last couple of months, a perennial loser where it would just have these pumps and then immediately.
You see, he said it's very hard to trust XRP in long run. So why would you buy XRP? I trust DogeCoin long run. See the big difference between a gambler? He's a gambler, buying stuff that you know not gonna work in the long run. We're investors. We understand. We put our money that's gonna work in the long run. See, that's how these people are. You gotta understand that, Chad. Let's see what happens though. Let's see what happens.
Fucking give them up. And so that's what I'm used to with this thing. So actually, I really want to put it past XRP to do such things. But yeah, you know, if it does take out this month's lows, you know, very easily come back down to $1, maybe even a little bit below $1. That would not be surprising at all, honestly. But for right now, momentum remains the upside on the monthly as long as the monthly is above $2. So that aligns very, very well with our daily and weekly range that we were speaking about. But of course, again, that's more of a long-term thing. We're not going to know until literally February 28th at the strike of midnight. Anyways, moving on from there, we have Ethereum. Ethereum isn't even worth talking about. It's by far the weakest, as always. That's nothing new. Just a sad state of affairs here for Ethereum, but similar to XRP, similar to Solana, I do think that this is an overall range play. I think it's just more annoying for the Ethereum bulls because obviously this thing, contrary to everything else, has not made new highs this cycle thus yet. And right now, as I peruse through my notes, I don't have too much actually for Ethereum. I did want to talk about that same sort of daily extreme volatility signal right here. It's not the double extreme, to be fair, but as of right now, I mean, this thing is... I actually think that this thing is more likely to test the downside in the short term. Perhaps putting another wick somewhere down around like 2400, 2450-ish region. That would not be surprising at all, to be honest. It's just fucking ugly, man. But again, if the rest of the market bounces, this thing will bounce as well. It's just perhaps not as much. Oh fuck, we forgot to talk about XRP bounce targets if and when it does happen. So let's say it does happen from here. Just go back really quickly here. I suppose areas of interest, again, very likely to hit at least 265 on that bounce. Again, assuming that the bounce does get confirmed. 50% levels at 280 and 618 is at 290. So if you are bullish, you kind of want to see it bounce closer to those rather than the 382. Anyways, back to Ethereum right here. Yeah, this one I do think is still more likely to test the bottom side of the range again, perhaps sometime this month. Fucking nasty, man. But weekly momentum remains to the downside heavily as long as it's below 3,500. 10-day time frame also showing heavy downside momentum as long as below 3,650. 5-day time frame also downside below 3,000. I mean, this thing just cannot catch a fucking break. Even the daily is about to hit, or sorry, not hit, but it's about to turn back down, assuming that today closed below 2,700. It's a long day left to go, obviously, but hey, well, I guess less so because I'm here in Florida, so yeah, about 9.5 hours. But as it stands right now, it is healthily below 2,700. I mean, that's a decent move for Ethereum within that time frame, and it is even playing out a potential trendline rejection here from this regression that began, that has been governing the high since early January. So yeah, if I'm just looking at Ethereum, I mean, I think that this thing spikes lower first and then maybe tries for a bounce. I don't think it's going to fully break down here, by the way, at least not on this move. Long term, looking at the monthly, what's absolutely critical for me to not turn bearish and say that, hey, this thing is done for the cycle or done for a very long time, is it must close this month above 2,900 minimum, about 2,900. We still got nearly 3 weeks left to go in this month, but yeah, that is well and far away from the current price. Anyways, long time left to go on that one, so I wouldn't worry too much about it as of right now, but just something to be aware of in the background. And I expect that if this one fails, then obviously you're going to see Solana and XRP fail as well. Anyways, moving on to Bitcoin here, we had a big focus on yesterday's video for the weekly close for CME, and what happened on the weekly close, we did see that it closed below the HPDR median. So I would not have the general disposition that the low for the current move is in just yet, similar to what we said yesterday, I believe it was yesterday, and also this several times this past week, that Bitcoin here probably more likely to fill a little bit lower first before it tries for a bounce. Obviously yesterday's bounce attempt was rejected. But looking at this one, I still think Bitcoin, where's my damn thing? I still think Bitcoin could come back down, somewhere around about 9,300, or sorry, not 9,300, but 93,000 to 93,500, somewhere around this area right here, essentially, before it does play out a bit of a bounce. Looking at momentum also, as we see that daily time frame, it's going to be positioned, well, it's going to turn down because today is well below 98,300. But again, long day left to go. But if it does close below there, then well, that's that. Very likely going to be on its way to 93ish before the next sort of bounce attempt. Again, as long as it is below the weekly median, it can easily fill out this space to the downside here. Even the bottom side of that 38.2 level right now is actually at $89,000. So, I mean, if Bitcoin came back down to like $89,000 or just anywhere below January's low, I mean, I think that would be like massively concerning as well for Bitcoin. But like I said, probably due for a bounce before that. Where do things start to change around for Bitcoin? I mean, just the simplest way of looking at this, again, is going to be the weekly median for the HPDR, which is at 99,000 basically. Technically a few bucks below there, but yeah, $99,000. So as long as Bitcoin's below there, hard to get excited for like an actual genuine bounce. And I still remain with my slightly lower target, somewhere around 93, as long as that prior information is met, I suppose. Anyways, that is where we'll end things for today. I want to say a massive thank you to all the people who we met at the theme parks. That was really cool. Also the comments yesterday. One for Elsa. She was very happy to see that people were wishing her a happy birthday. She had like the fucking best day of her life, pretty much, which is really cool to see. For me, Disney World is Disney World, but and also the shit comments yesterday. Yes, the shit comments indeed. In fact, a little bit more American analysis for today. Elsa has been very enlightened and also surprised and shocked to see all of the drug advertisements on American regular TV. And not only, she's like, okay, is this drug that's supposed to solve some sort of very serious issue seems to cause significant more amounts of issues like bleeding from the anus and also yeast infection.
Yo, for real, like what the fuck? But that's America. We fix your issue, but we're gonna give you 100 more issues.
Which are great side effects to be having. Yes, Elsa thinks that's very funny. Yes, I'm sure yeast is funny. Have you heard of bread? That's how it's made, in fact. Anyways, and also she's very shocked to see because it's a Super Bowl coming up. It's like, why are you guys so fucking obsessed with this damn Super Bowl? And also, why are you guys so fucking obsessed in your news with celebrities? I cannot disagree here. I cannot disagree. We watch the morning news and holy shit, no wonder most are not most, but the people who watch regular TV are absolutely fucking redacted. They're being filled with poison to their minds every day. Don't do it. Don't fucking do it. Watch YouTube. Watch me talk about dildos and fucking shits online. It's much better for your mental health. No, go watch, I don't know.
All right.
Go watch like some fucking documentary or something like that. Anyways, that's what we'll end things for today. Elsa says to read Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now. Very, very good for your mindset as well. All right, that's where we're going to end things for today. That's enough talking shit. All jokes aside, Elsa absolutely loves America, and I'm actually having a pretty good time as well myself. So, yeah, we'll be back on tomorrow. We'll do the weekly Q&A session. And
all right, we'll see if anybody's saying anything. All right, legit.
Hello guys, I'm Mariano, the Trading Parrot. On Friday, a new report came from the Federal Reserve touching monetary policies. There are some mentions specifically announcing some changes when it comes to quantitative easing. That might be the case. That is coming a slowdown on quantitative tightening. In today's video, I'm gonna share a very quick summary in what it means for crypto investors, traders, not just when it comes to Bitcoin, but also in regards to altcoins. This can have profound impact even if it didn't play out, we are talking about potential front runs when this hits the markets on Monday. We have a pretty packed week when it comes to economic calendar. We have the core inflation rates. On Tuesday and Wednesday, Powell, PPI and retail sales are already coming in by the end of the week. We're gonna cover the state of the open interest aggregated, which is diverting from the alpha that I really want. We'll cover the capitulation signal ongoing from hash ribbons, and of course I'll give you an update on the 4-hour and daily time frame, which seem to be trapping both sides at the moment, but the most pain is very clearly located in one of the two extremes. We're gonna discuss my take on that. There are three most likely potential outcomes, but I lean on towards one of them. Of course, we will cover liquidation levels, and at the end of the video, we'll wrap up all this information together with doing surgery to the order book to extract the most critical information to stay informed for your trading starting on Monday market open. Guys, if you like this type of content, make sure that you are subscribed to Coin Euro Trading. Together with Dan and Aaron, we put valuable information, not just talking about trading setups and education, but also tutorials. So every day you can become a better trader, incorporating new alpha in your toolset. Alright, let's go back into the content. As usual, I'm gonna share a long array of data points. There's gonna be conflicts between each one of them. I have a mental reminder to make sure that I always state whether it's bullish or bearish and how significant and impactful it can be. Let's warm up with the place I always like to start, which is to understand how much retail currently we have. And you can tell that since mid-November, retail has done nothing but put in lower lows and lower highs in terms of interest over time when searching for Bitcoin. You can even tell that Trump, starting his administration, there was a spike, but that was just only a new lower high. At the moment, the latest reading is 24. If we were to trade this pattern, we could say that we are in a pretty bullish flag, and we should be exploding into over 75 if this was price action. And you know that I don't do any discrimination in this channel. I pretty much trade patterns on anything, and this is saying that eventually retail could come. And the reason I'm covering this is because this is completely connected with the report that is coming from the Fed. Everything fits as long as the report ends up doing what they are promising. So now we are gonna read the 80 pages of the report word by word, and I bet that you are gonna stay the full video. Of course not. I have prepared a nice article that I share with my community, and I made public a tweet as well that went into my Telegram and Instagram. I usually try to extract what really matters so you stay informed. And in that PDF, the things that we really care as investors and traders in crypto is that they have confirmed that they are going to slow down. They don't give a timeline. I've seen some people saying, other influencers, it is confirmed, and starting from June, quantitative easing is going to take place. I scanned everywhere the document, I gave it to all the AI models, and I couldn't find anything saying really a specific deadline for QT. But it's good to know that in the short to medium term, they have agreed already to do so, which means that somewhere in 2025, we should expect higher risk appetite, increased liquidity in the markets. And if you've been watching my channel, probably since the